Alright guys, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel and if you enjoyed this video. So, let's go champ! I'm going to be quoting Shannon Briggs, the former heavyweight champion of the world. 100% he's gotten in. He's come to his hometown, pushed them like that. He said things about his mother. That ain't cool, but at the same time, I think he's got under his skin. That's what we need in the heavyweight division. We need some static. We need beer. That's what's going to make great fights. That's what I'm saying. If AJ lets him get started, it's going to be a long night. If he goes past the 4th or 5th round, if it goes past 6, I'm going with Miller. Before 6, I'm going with AJ. So that's what Mr. Shannon Briggs had to say. He was talking about Jarrell Miller. He believes that Jarrell Miller has gotten under the skin of Anthony Joshua because of, you know, he saw the press conference that they had like a month and a half ago. And we have to keep in mind, you know, both Jarrell Miller and Shannon Briggs are from Brooklyn. They know each other. They're cool. So obviously Shannon Briggs is going to be rooting for Jarrell Miller, right? Obviously, I mean, look at me. I feel that I feel that Anthony Joshua is going to beat Jarrell Miller, but I'm still rooting for Jarrell Miller because he's from Brooklyn, where I'm from. So I got to support the fellow, you know, guy from the fellow hometown from New York, the fellow New Yorker. So, but I still think he's gonna lose, you know, because I'm not, you know, brainwashed or anything. But he says something interesting here. He says that if Anthony Joshua lets Jarrell Miller get started, it's going to be a long night for him. And he says that if Jarrell Miller goes past the 4th and 5th round, he's going to go with Miller. But if the fight lasts 6, I got confused with this quote. Sorry. He says that if it's past 6 rounds and Jarrell Miller's still there, then it's not a good sign for Anthony Joshua, basically. And I actually agree with that. In my opinion, when it comes to Jarrell Miller, he's a pressure style. He's a pressure fighter. He's a guy that walks his opponents down. I think that Anthony Joshua should be aggressive, should show his dominance right from the start against Jarrell Miller. Do not let Jarrell Miller get comfortable in there and throw power shots. You know, have Jarrell Miller intimidated. Hit him with a really hard shot to have him intimidated, because if you don't have him intimidated, he'll come walking you down the whole night. That's why I'm very curious about this fight, because I want to see if Jarrell Miller could take Anthony Joshua's best punches. If he can, then that's when it gets interesting. Because if he could take his punches, and let's say it's round 5, 6, 7, 8, and Jarrell Miller's still there, it might be a thing where maybe Anthony Joshua might start gassing out. This is heavyweight boxing. Fighters get tired. And Jarrell Miller's a guy who has a good work rate. He's not a big puncher at all, but he has the ability to let his hands go for 12 rounds. I never see Jarrell Miller, you know, get tired or get sloppy. You would imagine for a guy who's 300 pounds, 300 plus pounds, he would get tired and look fatigued and look sloppy in there. But Jarrell Miller tends to have a really good tank when it comes to letting his hands go. He could do it for 12 rounds. So that's why I always felt that if Jarrell Miller were to upset Anthony Joshua, it would be in the second half of the fight when Anthony Joshua is tired, when he's out of gas, and when Jarrell Miller is just taking advantage of that, and he's applying his pressure, and he has him against the ropes, and he's letting his hands go on Anthony Joshua. So I do agree there with Shannon Briggs. I do think that Anthony Joshua should try and get Jarrell Miller out of there early, rather than try to go the distance. Because like I said, if Jarrell Miller is able to take his best punches, he's going to keep coming all night, you know, and Joshua is going to have to keep him off him for 12 rounds. So I do agree with Shannon Briggs on that. Do I think that Jarrell Miller has gotten under Anthony Joshua's skin? I do think that Anthony Joshua is a little annoyed by Jarrell Miller, but, you know, I mean, it's hard to tell with Anthony Joshua, to be honest, because I think Anthony Joshua is mentally strong when it comes to, like, fighting you know, in front of a bunch of people, having people expecting him to win fights, you know, by spectacular fashion. I think he's mentally tough when it comes to that. But I don't know. And I was gonna say I've never seen him in there I've never seen him in there, you know, with a trash talker. But he was in there with a trash talker in Dillian White, and that really didn't affect his performance, didn't it? It didn't, right? He went in there and he destroyed Dillian White. So again, I don't really think this is going to affect. I just think he's annoyed by Jarrell Miller. Obviously, he looks like he's annoyed by Miller, but I don't think it would affect his performance. But like I said, I think the only thing I'm really curious is if Miller could take AJ's best punches, because if he can, this fight just got interesting, people. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm out.